The other thing that I'm going to do when I do restrained play, and we'll demonstrate this, is I'm going to start to condition my auditory stimulator, that little sound you hear me making when I'm playing with dogs. I go, doesn't matter what sound you make, you can go, blah, 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 whatever you want, right? I make that noise because it's easy for me to make. I always laugh because people in our classes start trying to make the sound, and some people are really good at going like a sprinkler noise, and other people are like, so whatever noise works for you, whatever you want to do, it's the same gig, right? So I make this noise as I'm teasing the puppy, and that noise, through conditioning, comes to predict prey-based chasing activities, and it stimulates your dog. It gets them really excited when they hear that noise, right? So why do I want that? Well, in play, like lots of other aspects of dog training, there are things we do in the beginning to help the dog do what we want, and then there's a process of fading that help out, removing that help a little bit at a time, right? And so if I'm teaching my dog to sit, I help my dog sit with these lures, and then I gradually transfer that to a command until I can stand there and go sit, and my dog will sit without me doing anything else, right? So all the things I did to help them gets gradually reduced. Well, play is like that. In the beginning, I'm gonna work my butt off to get you to play. I'm running and waving things around and teasing you and making you chase me, right? But the goal over time is that the dog does more and I do less, and less and less and less, until I can stand there and go, yes, bang, my dog will grab a toy and play like crazy, and they're putting their energy in, and I'm not doing much at all. So I'm fading out all that physical help that I did to get the dog to want to play in the beginning, all the chasing and running and teasing and stuff, right? So as I fade that out, as I move less, sometimes the dogs drop down in intensity. So if I've built in this noise, I can stimulate the dog without moving. So I can stand here and go, the dog goes, and then I go, get it, bang, and they grab it, right? And so I can pump them up without running. So it helps me fade out some of the physical help. And then over time, I do a little less of that, a little less of that, a little less of that, until my dogs play, right? So if you see our older dogs, you saw me playing with Dub, right? If I hold the ball in front of him and say yes, he grabs the crap out of it. He doesn't just go like, oh, my ball, thanks. He goes boom and grabs it and thrashes and like, he clamps down really hard on it. That's a conditioned play response. It didn't start out like that. They learned to do that. In the beginning, it was like, yes, and I'd run with it and he'd chase it and have to run it down from behind. There was lots of activity on my part to get him to play that way, right? And then as he played, it ramps up. It gets more intense and more intense and more intense, and I do less and less and less, and he does more and more and more.